Procedures in nim are declared using the proc keyword and require that their parameter and return times be annotated. After types and parameters, an equals is used to denote the start of the function body. Another thing to note is that procedures have uniform function call syntax, which means that they can be called as both the name of the function and in parentheses the parameters, like a and b, or you just give the first argument, dot, and then the name and second argument, which I absolutely love. So if we define the Fibonacci proc that takes an integer and returns an integer, we can basically say, hey, this result, if not this, and it can call itself, of course. And here we're saying that Fibonacci for the number n minus 1. So I guess this is handy because you already have a parentheses, so you can specify what's going on there. Or you could do parentheses here, dot Fibonacci, which here complicates things a little bit, but yeah, that's an example. And I really like that you can do both because you don't have to write two separate functions or whatnot, something that many other languages would basically force you to do. Exporting symbols. Encapsulation is also supported, not by conventions such as prepending the name with underscores. I guess that's a hint for JavaScript, but by annotating the procedure with an asterisk, which exports and makes it available for use by modules. Yes, that's right. We learned about last time that asterisk says, hey, this is basically exported. So this is an exported function, a procedure. This one isn't. So in some other module, we can call this one, but we cannot call this one. It's as simple as that. So, no need to worry. Again, I'm bringing up examples from C# because that's what I'm familiar with. But basically, you would deal with something like you would have public, you would have private, you would have protected, you would have internal, you would have file, and I'm sure there's some other version of it. So this is a bit simpler, and I'm sure because this doesn't have it isn't fully object-oriented language. Therefore, I guess you don't need to have all those protected and other stuff because you're not dealing with the classic inheritance. Okay, side effect analysis. NIM provides support for functional programming and so includes the no side effect pragma, which statically ensures there are no side effects. Awesome. So if we proc sum of x and y, we can specify there are no side effects because we just add them. We don't do anything outside. And minus, if we will try to echo, minus can have side effects. So here we're trying to define minus as something that doesn't have side effects. And sure, we have that, but we also try to echo, which is basically writing to some external buffer, doing something outside of just being concerned about x and y. So it won't compile. That's awesome. Very awesome. And it basically makes sure that whoever else edits the proc in the future, if they will do something weird, they will get an error. So that's awesome. Very much like it. Operators. To create an operator, the symbols that are to be used must be encased inside backticks to signify they are operators. Okay. So we define a procedure. In backticks, we have the $sign. So I guess it would be an operator $sign. And it takes one argument, which is an array of two arrays of 2 ints. So 2x2 matrix. And it returns a string. So we define that the result is empty string. This is the thing that we learned that we don't have to do that anymore in newer because this is the default value for string. So hey, we can skip that line. And for v and a, so we iterate over the a array and we call it v, and then inside that, we iterate over those smaller arrays of vx, and we can basically add the integer of $sign vx. So that'll be just because $sign is already defined for integers, which means we'll print out the integer and we add the comma separator. And then after that, we also add, okay, so I see. So for something like that, we would go and do 1, comma, space, 2, comma, space, new line, 3, comma, space, 4, comma, space. Okay. All right. So you have our args for how echo works. Oh, we just echo the whole thing here. Oh, I see. So this probably will call the $sign on this whole thing. You will look for that operator. If the operator for that very special thing is defined, it will basically call it and print it out nicely for us. Awesome. I like it. And then we define another operator, which is very user-friendly. Wow, this is crazy. Takes 2 strings. So basically, I guess one string, all that, and the other string on the other side, right? And confusingly named useless operator, which basically takes the first character of A, and is that the last character of B? And assert foo. This bar will be F and R. So I wonder if we can actually shorten it. So let's try this. So if we will run it, right? Sure. No errors, right? Because assert checks for that. So do we need to do high? Can we just do this one as in last from the end? Will it result the same thing? Yes. Okay. I prefer that than the whole high and low here. We have those for purpose, I guess. Wow, this is truly ugly. But could I make it like this and save? Yeah, that works. Oh, that is funny. Huh. Awesome. And I'll run it again. Just double make sure. Yep, it works. I love it. You can make your like own language. And let's just see if that actually works. We save it and we run it. And yes, we have those two. Oh, that's so good. So basically echo var args and it's typed. Okay. Garbage collection safe. Huh. Writes and flushes the parameters to the standard output. Special built-in that takes a variable number of arguments. Each argument is converted to a string via the $sign operator. So it works for user-defined types that have an overloaded $sign operator. That is fun. Okay, I like it. It's that simple to make something viewable. Just declare an operator. It is roughly equivalent to write line, this flash file, or whatever. That's too much. Unlike other I/O operations, this is guaranteed to be thread safe, as echo is very often used for debugging convenience. If you want to use echo inside a proc without side effects, what? Without side effects. And then we have manual HTML pragmas, no side effects, pragma. You can use debugEcho. Oh. So if we would say, for example, here at the end of this procedure, this operator, we want to do echo and do wolala, right? We save it. When we run our code, it will say wolala, right? Yeah, because we called the $sign operator, so it just said wolala. But if we would say that, you know, this is, what was this? What was it? No side, how do you write it? This whole no side effects. Dot space, no side effects, space done. Okay. No side effects dot bam. Oh, effect. There we go. And now it's complaining, hey, this is a side effect. So we can do echo debug. Or what is it? It was defined somewhere here. Use the debug echo. Debug echo. Save. And now we should be able to run it, right? Okay, it worked. So this is, you know, when you're trying to debug your code and, you know, this won't be staying here. You just call debugEcho. And then if you need to in the future clean it up, or whenever somebody reads your code and sees debugEcho, wait, we're not aligned on our production code or whatever, in our repository at all, you can easily search for it and just remove it. Okay, simple solution. It's good to know that there is such thing as debugEcho. Okay. Generic functions. I love generics. Generic functions are like C++ templates and allow for the same statically checked duck typing semantics as templates. Duck typing semantics. Oh. We define an operator plus that operates on A and B, so A plus B, and this is for strings, okay? And it just returns A and B, okay? So it concatenates them too. So this would be where you can use it. Do I have an example? Yeah, like one string plus other strings. This is what normally you see using plus, but Nim has ampersand, but hey, sure. Go and define your own plus if you want. No big deal. And then we have multiply is a generic one. It takes, you can specify what type T is. And in this case, whatever's on the left is of that type that it's going to get returned, while on the right we have the number. So you can say probably string A times 10, right? And what it will do, result is default of T. Okay, so we here explicitly say that assign the default value of T, because whatever T, this could be an integer, it could be a float, could be a string, could be, I don't know, a sequence. So we have something like default, which was basically initialize it. And I assume that nowadays with newer nim, we don't have to call this anymore. Okay, so then we go for, and we go for a range from 0 to top value. And again, this could be shortened. We'll fix that in a second. So basically, for every single, however many times we need to do it, just use the add a. So okay, so we defined add on the a on the string. Therefore, the compiler will figure out that, hey, if you're trying to call that on a string, it will check if this operator is defined on a string. Oh, this is so smart, and it will just keep concatenating them. Or in case of integers, it's gonna do something else. So let's do that. Let's play with this code because this is fun. Instead of asserting, let's do echo a times 10 equals, and we'll just put in a times 10, right? So let's save it. Let's run it, and we have 1, 2, 3, 5, and 5. We have 10 A's. Awesome. What if instead of, we'll just copy it. What if instead of that, we'll just do 5 times 10, right? We do 5. Save, run. 5 times 10 is 50. Oh, I see. Because this will probably call the operator that we already have instead of this one, right? Because I'll do the debugEcho. I'm here, right? We'll save it and run it. We get it once for our string, but we won't get it for our integers. Okay, makes sense. Makes sense. What if I'm going to do something like a sequence times 10, right? We'll just get a sequence of a character A. We'll do times 10. Save. Now we have a situation type mismatch. Maybe not about 10, just to make sure. Okay, that's too bad because the error isn't showing up here. It's showing up in the operator itself. That's too bad. I would like the error to show up. Hey, you can't do that because there's no times operator for multiplication operator for sequences, while this is like, okay, I'm gonna do that because this is matching it, right? It matched it, it's happy, but now it's unhappy here that, oh, there's no such thing as operation for sequence plus, in this case, sequence plus sequence. So if we'll define something like our operator, proc, and this will be plus, a, b, and that'll be a sequence of, let's say, type T, right? We'll make it generic too, and that will return a sequence of type T. And that's equals, and we just do a dot add b. Save it, and hey, we can just do bam, return. Do we return it? Do we need to return it? Type mismatch. What am I doing wrong? Because on a sequence, I should be able to call add, right? Expression has no type. What? Let's try to run it. Add a. A sequence, and expected one of first mismatch at position. Character, C string. Okay, I do not know how that works. Let's ask AI if it can tell us why there's a error here. Let's see if it's smart enough. Okay, I have the following code. There'll be nim as a hint, and we just do that. I'm getting an error about the line return a.add b, and let's give it the error. So we go here, we'll just do that, copy all this, and let's see what's gonna figure it out. If it could figure out and explain what the problem is, that'd be awesome. Please explain what the actual problem is and how can I fix it. Your message indicates a type mismatch in the line that within the plus operator overload for sequence T. The problem is that the add proc expects different argument types than what you're providing. In the line return A add B, you're trying to add B, which is of type sequence T, to A, which is also. However, the add proc for sequences expects the second argument to be either open array T or a single element of type T, not another sequence. I thought we were able to add those sequences like that. To fix this, you have a couple of options. If you want to concatenate two sequences, you can use the AND operator instead of add. Okay, that makes sense. The AND operator concatenates two sequences and returns a new sequence containing the elements from both input sequences. That's exactly what I want. If you want to add a single, then we add that. We don't want to add single. Okay, so we know the fix. Thank you. So we just do literally, again, that. and that'll be it. And I noticed that we're not explicitly returning something, so I guess if we have an expression that is returning something, it will just assume returning it. So let's say we have sequence of 10, 20, 15, or like 35. We save it, and when we run it, we should have that sequence times 10, right? Okay, it's the sequence of 1, 2, 3. It works. Okay, we can define other things. And so I guess what they mean by duck typing here is that in many languages where you have a concept of inheritance, or like explicitly saying that, hey, this should implement an interface or something, that's where you can define that, hey, object of this type that implements this, I don't know, maybe multipliable interface or something needs to explicitly implement this operator and that operator, right? Or maybe with functions or something. While here, we can actually add some other operators to already existing types, like to a string, to a sequence of like generic, any kind of sequence, or something more complex. And it will basically, compiler will be smart enough to check if those exist, whatever you're typing, like on the go. So that adds a lot of flexibility. I really like it. The only thing I didn't like it was that random place where the problem happened. So if I would suddenly comment out the plus for strings, I get an error instead of here. I get an error here because this is using that directly. So could be improved. But I guess, if you dig deep enough, it'll be fine. Although I wonder what it will look like if this is something that happened inside some other module that maybe you imported or something, like other external library. I wonder how this would show up as an error. Don't know. But I very much like it so far. So let's see what's going on next.